Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to be talking about the parts of a camera and the modes, which is the dial that's on the top, because you need to know those parts just if you're taking pictures of your kids on the playground, and if you don't set it a specific way, they could just look like blurry nothings on the camera, and that's really sad. Or if you just wanted to know about beginning photography and the different parts that you need to know just to have prettier pictures. So I'm going to start, like I said, with the dial that's on the top. And the first one that I usually start with, I'll just go like this way. I don't know which way that is to y'all. Okay. And then the first one is manual. It's just an M, and that one is where you have to set everything manually yourself. So the aperture and the shutter speed, everything like that. And I know y'all don't know what that is, so I'll go ahead and tell you. The aperture is just like how blurry an object is. So like if you took a picture of a waterfall, and the waterfall's going down, if you wanted everything that's in the waterfall, like the whole waterfall itself, then it would be a blurred picture, and that would be a smaller aperture. And then if you just wanted like a little bit of the waterfall or just starting or going down, that would be a larger aperture, and it would be like either a sharp picture or a blurred picture. And then shutter speed is the exposure, and so that would be if it's dark, then you would want more exposure, so you had more light coming in, and then vice versa. So that was the first one, manual, and you set all of that by yourself. And then the second one is the aperture priority, which is the blurriness. So you would set that, but everything else would go off of that aperture. The next one is, and the aperture one is set as AB. AB doesn't really make any sense, it's just there. And then the next one is TV, which is shutter priority. So you would set the shutter speed to like how dark or light it was outside, and that would change everything else to what it needs to be for the setting. The next one is P, and that one auto sets the aperture and the shutter speed for you. And so like based on your setting, it's kind of like auto. Auto is what it starts out on, which is the next one, and auto is just like the little green A with the plus sign, and that sets everything by itself. So it just, based on the setting, it sets up everything, which is pretty much what program does. It just sets really specific apertures and stuff to the specific setting that you have. The next one after auto would be like a little lightning bolt with an X through it, which turns the flash off. So when the flash is off, there's no flash. And then if you were on the flash off and you wanted the flash on for just one picture in particular, there will be a button on the front that you can press. Creative auto is pretty much just ambient setting, which is like a blurred background. It's kind of like portrait mode, and portrait is the next one. Portrait is just like a little woman. That's what the portrait one looks like, and that would be specific people or a group of people. If you wanted them to be the main focus, and then you wanted the background to be kind of blurred, you just wanted it on a specific person. The next one is landscape, which is just like a little mountains, and that one's for specific places or like a sunset or anything like that if you wanted it to be fancy. Then after landscape is close up, and it's a little tulip, and it's cute. And that one's just if you're, it's kind of like a macro setting, which is close up, and I would just use a macro lens for that. There's really no point in that. There's not. And then the next one is a little running man. He looks like this. And it's for if you, so like I said, if you're taking pictures of your kids, then you don't want them to be just blurry little things that are running. And so you would put it on that one, and it would help with the aperture to help it sharpen and just help it to be there when they're moving. So like if your kid was playing soccer, then he would see everything, and it would kind of take a faster snapshot of it so that you would get everything there. And then after that, you have special scenes, which is going to be like backlight or candlelight or nighttime, anything that needs like more light or less light so that you can see it better. And the last one would be creative filters. And the creative filters would be like fisheye, where you're like in the bowl or whatever, or black and white or grainy or anything like that. So all of those would be different modes that you can put it on so that everything looks more specific. And then these are important for the camera just so that you can get a prettier picture and make sure that everything is just set out for you the best, and just make sure that the setting doesn't look crazy, because these cameras are a lot different than just if you took a picture on your phone, because everything's going to be set up the same if you take pictures on your phone. But I'll explain a little bit of the outside of the camera, and I don't have my camera because I'm recording on it, but I can kind of explain to you all this stuff. So the main points would just be like, there's the big button on the front, and that would be just your shutter button to take the picture. If you press it down a little bit, it's going to kind of focus for you, get everything together. get everything together so that you can take the picture. Because if you just press it down, sometimes it'll like do that you, and then it's not gonna take the picture because it's not focused. And then the next big part will be the lens. That's what takes the picture. So a lot of people, when you take the lens off, you'll just kind of rotate it to the side. There will be a button on the top that matches up, and you'll just press the lens button off, and you'll take it off. And inside is the mirror, and that is what really helps with the pictures, because everything is like flipped. If you understand anything about like your eyes or whatever, and the image is flipping. Don't ever touch the mirror. Like if you're changing anything, if there's dust on it, it won't affect the pictures at all. It doesn't matter. It's fine. Like if you put your oily fingerprint all over it, then it is going to affect the picture. So that's really important. And then when you put it back on, just make sure it locks in place so that you get everything through. And then on the back will be just the buttons that are okay, trash, all the things that you need to know. There will be a little play button that'll be all of your review images and things that you want to look at. And then there will be a button for main dial that can change like zoom and stuff. There will also be zoom buttons for that as well. And then there should be an ISO button, which would change a few different things. And the main button can change different things too. It just depends on what setting you're in with the modes. So modes are really the most important thing. There's always things on the side for like if you have a microphone, your USB port. If you need to plug it into your computer, there will be an SD card spot. And if you don't have an SD card, you can't take those. That's really important as well. And there's not really any other like really specific things. Underneath will be where you can put the tripod. There'll be a screw, and you can screw it in there so that it stays tight. And then you're going to want to screw the sides of the tripod so that it doesn't fall forward or back. And then the last thing that's really important for the functions and things that are on it will be the top. There's a little slide, and you can where the flash comes up, it'll be right behind that, and it'll add an extra flash, so you can have like an extra flash on the top just in case it was really dark, or like if you're a lot of photographers use them with their little big screen lights, and that'll help them to have more light in any darkness. I think that's all for today. Does anybody have any questions about the camera? Thank you.